Hello, I'm Steven from Seizmik, and today we'll be installing the new 06017 Polaris General removable upper door kit. We have our buddy's 2019 model here, but it will be backwards compatible to all previous models. Alright, so the first step in installing a new door kit is removal of the inner panel. You have a smaller T25 along the outer perimeter and behind the two front panels there, and the larger T40 Torx along the top. Now to make things easier, I'm going to use an impact, but this is where you'd like to use your 3/8" drive ratchet. All right, I've got my T40 Torx. We're going to start removal. The last two are located behind these two removable panels here and here. You can get a flat blade screwdriver or just a knife. Pry them off. One. And two. And your last T25s are here and right here. Now the inner door panel can be removed. You start by removing the handle bezel, and the whole panel comes right off. Set that aside. Now you have access to all the mounting points here and up here. This is not necessary, but it makes it a lot easier if you just remove this final T45 bolt here. Then you're going to grab your rear mounting bracket and the two M10 bolts that go along with it. Now you're going to pull back the panel and separate it from this large internal aluminum frame here. Slide that back. Grab your bolts and thread them in. At this point, you'll just keep the bolts snug so the bracket doesn't fall or anything like that, but you'll need to adjust it, so there's no point in tightening down at this moment. All right, now we're going to move towards the front, right near the hinges, to install our front pin mounting bracket. This is where you're going to want to grab your 13mm socket and remove this first bolt closest to the hinge. For our kit, you only remove one bolt so that your door doesn't come out of adjustment. All right, so you grab your driver's side front mounting bracket, the hinge bolt that was just removed. You're going to put this in the bottom slot back into its home. Going to thread it in all the way, but again, not tight. Set that right there. This is my front panel spacer. This goes in between the frame and this bracket, right in here. Slot that in place. M8 bolt. Then grab your washer and lock nut. These will go on the back side. And again, just thread them in loosely. We'll go back and tighten them later. All right, so now you're going to grab your upper door frame. You can see there's the rear pin and the front pin, which is much longer. These are going to go into your front brackets and your rear. Let's get to it. I like to start by going to the front pin first since it is longer. Sliding it down. Adjusting the rear. Boom. All right, so with the door slid in nicely, I made a quick mark to locate the center of the barrel and the pin. That way I have a reference point if I ever need to take the doors off or on again, at least I have a starting point instead of having to start from zero. So I've done the same sort of thing on the front bracket. I've just outlined where it ends up. Again, just so we know where it is in case we ever have to do this installation again for whatever reason. All right, now we're ready to start snugging some hardware down and putting some in that we removed. We're going to put this T45 back here since our bracket's already located here. And for all reinstallation, I like using my ratchet because the impacts tend to strip things out if you're not careful. That's snug, doesn't need to be crazy tight. I'm going to get my 6mm hex now and tighten these M10 bolts down. Do one at a time. Again, right now I'm not killing them, just getting them snug. We're going to do a couple trial lift-offs of the door to make sure everything's okay. All right, so now you're going to grab your 6mm hex, your 13mm wrench. This is going to go on the back side of the upper bolt and nut. We're going to snug this one down first. And now we're going to grab our 13mm socket to snug this lower bolt down. Just like that. Now we're going to do some trial takeoffs of the door to make sure everything's good. Make a few minor tweaks. As long as you're happy with it, the inner brackets should be installed just fine. All right, so now that your brackets are roughly in place, you have your mark on the frame here. You're going to want to put a piece of masking tape or some sort of protective tape on the top of your outer door panel just to minimize scratches and anything that you aren't drilling. So once you do that, you're going to grab your upper door frame and just put it in the top of the marks. Your frame, the outer door panel will bend outward just a little bit. Just so we have a reference point, I'm going to mark on either side, right there, so I know where to drill a hole. Remove the door frame. Grab your drill and drill bit. Mark the center and drill your hole. The front will be done in exactly the same way. And now we have our hole for the door pin to slide through. Now that I'm happy with how the door panel slides in and out of the brackets, I'm going to tighten down each one of the 4 mounting bolts here, grab my inner panel, and reinstall it. All right, now's a good time to talk about one of our new features for this door kit. It's this close lever at the top frame. This really helps keep the door sealed and tight up against the door frame itself, and also really helps for towing your vehicle, making sure that the wind doesn't get inside and blow your doors open. So all it does, it goes up and down, and it seals and pulls the top of the frame into the vehicle, sealing it against the gasket. This is your closed position. This is open. This should come installed from the factory, but if it's not, it's a simple M8 bolt and nut. As we mentioned before, we've already done the install in this vehicle, but now's the time where you would want to clean off this part of your body panel here. We like using isopropyl alcohol. You can use any kind of degreaser, 409, whatever, and install strips just along this edge here. That way, the Velcro on the back side of the upper door flap seals nicely up against your vehicle. All right, now's a good time to install your front finishing panel. It locates itself using this top roll cage bolt. So what you're going to want to do is grab your 15mm socket here, find the back side of this roll cage bolt, and remove it. Be sure to keep your finger on the back side of this bolt, because if not, the nut will fall into the depths of the vehicle. Trust me, it happens. I'm going to slide this right into place. Grab your bolt again. Put it right in here. Thread it in. And snug it down. Now, you can grab the inside part and sandwich it to the roll cage and secure it using the 3 Phillips head screws. All right, so as you can see, we have the back side of this front panel installed. Clamps right on the roll cage here, and it attaches using these 3 Phillips head screws. And just be sure not to tighten them down too hard, or else you can strip out the plastic from inside. Snug will do just fine. All right, now that we've installed our front finishing panel and adhesive back gasket, I'd like to talk more about this upper door panel locking lever. Now, once your door is closed, you'll see that because of the pins, it bows a little bit, but with our lever, it's sealed nice and tight and won't move anymore on you. This is especially good for trailering, because sometimes there can be a lot of breeze and wind that comes into the cab itself and blows doors open. With this lever, it will keep it secured. Also, on really tight, twisty trails with the chassis and frame flexing, this will really help keep your door nice and closed. All right, so one of the last things you're going to do is install the automotive style gasket we provided in the kit. It goes all the way from the bottom of the front finisher panel, around the frame, just to the back of the shoulder of the seat. Now, just like we did with the Velcro on the outer door panel, you're going to want to take some alcohol, degreaser, and clean your cage really well and make sure it's nice and dry so that the adhesive on the back of the gasket can stick well to the frame. If you have any other questions, please check out the instruction manual you can download at seizmik.com. We appreciate you stopping by and look forward to the next one.